Hello everyone, welcome back to Crafts by the Bow. Today I've got a quick and simple little project for you. I'm sure lots of people have made these for craft fairs and things, and I've made my fair share of them too. They're just little post-it note holders with a pen, and you put the DSP inside so that it matches. Well, this time I'm not making them for a craft fair, I'm going to make them for my open house. And I haven't been able to have my open house during the summertime because lots of people are on holiday, and then I was on holiday. So I decided to wait until just after the summer, and then I'm going to have the craft fair. And so I think this is going to be a nice little thing that people who come can do as a make and take. And I'll show you how to make it. It really is easy. You start off with a piece of cardstock, and you cut that cardstock at 8.5 by 3.5, and then you need to score it. And we score at 1.5 on the long side, 1.5. Let me move that blade out of the way, and then again at 2, and then again at 5.25. Just move that down so you can see it. 5.25, and then 5.75. So you end up with 2 little score marks here, 2 little score marks there, and they create this top and bottom fold. Before I fold it, I want to round the corners off. So I've just got my corner punch, and if you haven't seen this one before, it's a triple corner punch, and depending on which angle you put your card in, depends on which pattern you get. And there are 2 little lugs at the side, and that's where you put your paper in and you make sure that it's butted up to those, and then you know it's just in the right place. So I'm going to put this down. And unlike our other punches, you don't punch it in your hand. You just put it in and punch it straight down. I'm going to do the other side. I'll line it up with the other lug, just like that. Okay. And I just like the rounded edge look of it. I think it looks a little bit smarter on the post-it note holder. Now, I went to Staples and I bought a pack of post-it notes. And there are all sorts of different colours in them. I'm going to use the yellow one again, but I do have something in mind for this colour, and I'll tell you at the end what I'm thinking for that one. Okay, so now we can go over and just fold those edges over. You can go down it with your bone folder if you want it to be just a little bit nicer crease. Okay, so there's our base for the post-it note holder. Now we need some DSP, and I've used the Bird Ballad suite because I have lots of little pieces of that from some cards I was making a few weeks back. And what you need is, let me just find this, we need 2 pieces that are cut at 1.25 inches by 3.25 inches, and they're going to go on the top and underneath. And because I've made the corners here rounded, I need to make sure that these corners are rounded as well. So I'm going to put these in, and I'm going to have the yellow on the outside this time. So I need to punch these 2 bottom corners. So again, I just pop it in, line it up, then the same with the other one. Take those 2 pieces out, and then this one is going to be the same, but it's going to be underneath. So this time I'm going to do the top pieces. 1 and 2. Now that one's got just a little edge on it. I don't really like that little edge, so I'm just going to punch that on again. bit sharp there. I'm just going to take that off with my scissors. The same with it. I don't know what I did there. I don't know if I put it in upside down, back to front, or what I did. So let's try it again. Okay. I think I didn't press hard enough the first time, and it just made like, it cut the top of the paper off and just left that little edge on as well. So I'm just going to even this up. Usually cuts beautifully first time. Okay, so let's attach these. So I'm going to do the underneath piece that way with the little bird on, this piece on the top here. And I'm just attaching it with snail. I'm not using anything like a tear and tape. It's only paper onto paper, or paper onto card. It doesn't need to be all that strong. Okay, and then this piece, put this one on. I just want to make sure that my bird's the right way up for when I open it. There. Okay, we don't put anything on this side because that's where the post-it notes are going. But I'm going to do, if you close it up, I'm going to do the front piece here first. And I've got 2 pieces cut for that, and they're cut at 3 1/4 again by 3. And one will go on the outside and one will go on the inside. I'm going to have the yellow on the outside again. If you are making these for a craft fair, I find that they sell really well. People like them just as like a little stocking filler. And they don't cost much to make, and so you can sell them as quite a cheap little item. Okay, and then our last piece is going to go on the very back. You could have the same, but I'm just going to do the matching, the coordinating side. But this is always sort of one of those projects that's really good for little odds and ends of paper. Oh, which way does that go? I think it goes that way. You know, you don't need much card and you don't need much DSP. And it's a really nice way to show off the DSP and to show both sides. Okay. So that's how that's going to fit. Now, to attach the post-it notes, make sure that they're opening at the bottom. They're going to go in here, and I'm going to put tear and tape across the bottom here. Only because tear and tape is an easy one, that if I don't get it quite straight, I can get it off as long as I don't press too hard with the sticking down of it. So tear and tape is forgivable if you haven't pushed and pressed it too much. And on this kind of a thing, I need the post-it notes to be centered, otherwise the little box won't sit straight. So I'm making sure that the opening's at the bottom. Yeah, see, it doesn't fall out, it's nice and strong in there. Okay, so now just something for the top. And when I was doing those cards before, I'd got a few of the little bird stamp already done. I did the longest one here on my card, on my punch circle card. And so I had a few left over. So I'd already coloured them. So what I did with my 2-inch punch, I just cut out. I chose, let's show you. I chose where I wanted my punch to cut and then just quickly cut out. And using coordinating or matching cardstock, I used my starburst punch for the bottom layer. So these are just coloured in, and it just happened to be that it was the balmy blue I coloured in with, and it was the balmy blue cardstock I had lots of. So that made it easy to match. Okay, now this is going to be the closure part, and I'm going to stick half of it onto this top flap, and then we're going to put something else on the bottom half to make it keep closed. So I only need adhesive on the back at the top. Okay, and I'm going to just get my box all nice and straight so that I can work out where I want this to be. Okay, I've just lightly attached that because I want to make sure it's going to be straight and even at both sides. Yeah. And then to keep it closed, you can either use a little magnet that sticks on here and on here, or you can use a Velcro dot, and I'm going to use a Velcro dot. I've got lots of these little ones that I buy them at the dollar store. They're not expensive. And you just need one of the little hook pieces and one of the little soft pieces that the hooks fit onto. Okay, so I'm sticking them both together. Okay. And I'm going to pop this on the back of the starburst punch with both bits stuck together. And that way I know that they're going to be centered when I close it. So now I'm just going to close my little box, making sure that I've got it level, and then just press down where that little Velcro dot is, and that will be your closure. Now the first time you open it, it might not be stuck all the way on, so now you can just push with your fingers and that will keep it closed. Okay, so there's the little box. Now, when I used to do them for craft fairs, I always made a little pen that matched, and I used to get those black RSVP pens, and I don't have any in my cupboard at the moment, and I haven't bought any for a while, so I'm going to try with one of these Z-grip pens. And these are a little bit different because when you pull the end out, these other little pieces are not attached, whereas on the RSVP pens, these are all attached. The lid is already attached onto the ink refill inside, so it makes it a little bit easier, but it's still perfectly doable with this. And you can use any pen as long as it has a clear barrel that you're going to be able to see your paper through, and that you can take the ink refill out. And you need just a little bit of DSP, and I've chosen one that matches the paper. If you were using the RSVP pens, I used to cut it, I think, about 1 inch by 3 1/4, 3 1/2, but this has a smaller barrel showing. Let me put that piece in. This only has like a 2-inch barrel showing, so I'm cutting my paper a little bit smaller. And then all you do is you just start to push and to roll the paper with your fingers. I've seen that some people do this with a bone folder, and that works as well. But this way I know that I'm not going to get a big crease in it somewhere, or I know that it's going to fit. And you can see it starts to make the shape of the barrel. It starts to be a rounder shape. And then what you need to do when you're comfortable that it's round is just pop it into the barrel itself. If it starts to undo a little bit, just poke it down. You can use your scissors. I don't want to cut that. That doesn't want to go down, so let me just get my pokey tool, take this back out. I'm just going to wind it a little bit tighter to put in, so I know it's going to go in all the way to the bottom. There. Okay. It will unwind a little bit, and that's fine. That's what you want it to do, so that it fills up the whole of the barrel. Okay, then I'm going to put the ink refill back in. Oh, that bit dropped off the end. Just make sure it's back in. Okay. And then this little white cap end, and then the lid. I do prefer those RSVP pens because once you take that lid out, everything comes out with it. But it worked, so that's fine. Okay, so now we have a little pen that will match your post-it set. And I think for a make and take for my ladies coming to class, that would be really nice. And I think it's easy enough for them that they can use some of the new product that they maybe don't have and make their little pens as well. Now, I did tell you that I had something in mind for this colour. When I saw it, it reminded me of one of the other DSPs we've got, which is this one. So this is the Pressed Petals Speciality paper, and it's a little bit thinner than some of our DSP, but you get more of it. And let me just show you. I love this scripty one here. See, 1, 2, 3, 4 of each double-sided design. Isn't that blue gorgeous as well? I like this, just like a burlap. I think that'd be really nice on masculine cards as well. So 4 sheets of everything. I think that would work well really nicely for Christmas too. This one has lots of pieces that you can trim down and use as card fronts. I think this would be nice across the back of an envelope as well. Really pretty. Then another, like a wood grain that we can use on masculine cards. And then this one with the flowers. I'll just pop that one back in. This one with the flowers I thought would match that. And the washi tape that goes with it. You see, I haven't even opened this yet. Let's just see if I can get into it. Take that bottom washi tape off. Oh, got it all stuck on my fingers now. But this washi tape has, I'll have to put my glasses on I think to see where the end is. Has lots of little petals. Ah, here's the end. Put my glasses on so that I can use my pokey tool. Has lots of little individual petals. And what you do is you attach them to like a little card circle and make your own flowers that look like this. And I'm thinking that for the front here, wouldn't it be nice with one of these flowers on that you'd made yourself? I think that that's going to be one that I make at the open house. Not that I don't love the little birds, but I'm just thinking that these little flowers and this paper and this colour post-it note would look really pretty. So there we are. That was my quick little project for today. Great for my open house. It would be something that you could make if you had like a hostess party that you were doing. You could make these at the event, then give them to the hostess. Just looking for my other pen. There we go. They would be nice as little thank you gifts in orders. I think they've got 1,000,001 uses, not just something to keep for craft fairs. Thanks ever so much, everybody. Hope you have a go at that. And I'll see you all again very, very soon. Take care. Bye-bye.